Coming up on News Live at 6, many Syracuse University students have been receiving phishing emails. I'll tell you more on what these are and what to do if you receive one.
Plus, it's the first day of class registration here on campus. What you need to know to make sure you get the schedule you want.
And the results are in. We'll break down the latest on the presidential, congressional, and Senate races as a red wave looks to sweep the nation. News Live at 6 starts right now.
This is CitrusTV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
Good evening and welcome into News Live at 6 on this chilly Thursday evening. I'm Ronnie Parrillo.
And I'm Ilana Epstein. When you check your email inbox, you may notice some emails that seem too good to be true or don't look normal. These are also known as phishing emails. Our reporter Riley Fay is here in studio to tell us more about the steps you can follow if you receive these scams. Riley?
Yes, thank you, Ronnie and Ilana. Now, I talked to Andrew McClurg, who works for IT Services, and I was saying that my first instinct is to just go ahead and delete the email, but he said that that is not best practice. You should go ahead and report the email. You can do this by just hitting the report button that's at the top of every email, and there will be an option for report junk or report phishing. This then sends an alert to IT and they can look into it, and if more students have received this email, it automatically deletes it for them. Now, Andrew had more stuff to say on safety on using your computer, so let's take a look.
Anybody purporting to be the help desk, whether it's here at SU, Netflix, or Amazon, we do not need your password or your MFA codes to be able to help you. So if you receive a message from help desk or Microsoft asking for your password, you know it's fake because we all have access to the back end of our systems. We never ever need your passwords to help you.
Now, Andrew also said don't share any passwords, like he said in the video, but also don't share your MFA passwords. MFA stands for multi-factor authentication. Andrew recommends that you set this up for all accounts that you believe are important. Now, although we are likely to still receive these phishing emails, there are proper steps that we can take to be proactive and to not get as many in the future. Back to you guys.
All right, Riley, thanks so much. Well, it's the day that we all know here at Syracuse University. Today marks the beginning of class registration for SU students. The window for seniors starts today and tomorrow, with underclassmen registration times starting on the 11th. Now, freshman enrollment will begin the afternoon of the 12th or 13th. Students can check their MySlice accounts to see their specific times, as well as resolve any holds that may be on their accounts. Those take about 24 hours to remove. Cannot believe, Ilana, we did our last registration today. Crazy, crazy, crazy.
Ronnie, I was so emotional about it, honestly. Lightwork presents their 2024 photography annual featuring works from many students. Chloe Breeze is live at the gallery. Chloe, can you show us what's going on over there?
Thanks, guys. Yeah, I'm currently at the Jeffrey J. Hoons Gallery, where 17 artworks are on display. Students had the option in a Viz 405 class to submit their works to artwork for the Newhouse Photography Annual. I spoke with Sadie Jones, who told me a little bit more about her selective photo.
So this picture focuses on shadows. I love sports photography, so I wanted to capture sports in a different way.
After discussing the theme with Lightwork, students chose a number of photographs from previous work to select and feature, ranging in technique, an opportunity Sadie says is thankful to experience.
I feel like there's so many small opportunities that really add up here. The Viz department is one that is small and doesn't get a lot of recognition, I don't think, but it is like a family and everybody is really supporting each other. So, you know, taking every opportunity I can.
Now the artwork will be on display until December 13th. Reporting live for CitrusTV News, I'm Chloe Breeze. Ilana and Ronnie, back to you.
Chloe, I absolutely love all of those photos, and I think now that it's getting cold out, that's something that we're going to have to go do. Go find things to do inside. It is cold, it is dark, it is depressing.
It is. We've had a stretch of some really abnormally warm weather here in central New York. I mean, I didn't know if it was Election Day or the 4th of July on Tuesday. And we keep saying, well, looks like these warm days are going to go away, but here to tell us, for certain if that's a fact, is our very accurate meteorologist, Jackson Breslin.
Yeah, Ronnie, that's why I love weather anchoring for you. It's always an ego boost whenever you toss to me. But right now, temperatures are at 48 degrees. We have been seeing those warmer temperatures recently, but it does look like we're going to start to see more of those fall CNY temperatures. Now, taking a look at around the region, you can see it's about the same everywhere. Elmira, Binghamton, and Rochester are the warmest at 51. Cortland is the coolest at 45, and Syracuse is right in the middle at 48. Now, taking a look at tonight, temperatures are going to drop down to 46 degrees. It's still going to be clear, and it really won't get any colder after about 10 p.m. So if you're going out, you can wear a jacket, but you don't have to worry about things getting colder as the night goes on. That's all I have for now. I'll have your full 5-day forecast later in the show. Ronnie and Ilana, send it back to you.
Jackson, thanks so much. Well, we have new details tonight on the death of former One Direction star Liam Payne. Prosecutors in Argentina have charged 3 people in connection with Payne's death. Authorities say one person spent time with Payne every day while he was in Buenos Aires. Now that person is being charged with abandonment of a person followed by death. The other 2 people are accused of supplying Payne with drugs, including cocaine. One of these people was a hotel employee. Now, none of those suspects have been identified by name quite yet. It's been just over 3 weeks since Payne fell from the balcony of that hotel down there in Argentina.
A state of emergency and burn ban are in effect in Cortland County. This is due to extremely dry conditions which make trees more likely to catch fire. Residents are not allowed to burn trash, grass clippings, leaves, or tree branches. The Cortland County Legislature says immediate action needs to be taken to protect the public. The ban is expected to last until December 1st.
Veterans Day may be on Monday, but this Saturday, Central New York will honor those who served during the 17th annual CNY Veterans Parade and Expo. That event will take place at the New York State Fairgrounds from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. The expo is in the Center of Progress building, and that parade begins at noon over at Chevy Court. The events include a Battle of the Branches, a 5K race, and the Working Warriors banner display, which showcases the importance of military jobs beyond the National Guard and police.
Tully's drive-thru is coming to Clay after a town board voted in its favor. Concerns regarding traffic control and possible collisions were expressed, but one of the franchise owners explained adjustments to the drive-thru setup were made following the board's original strikedown of the plan. A date for when the drive-thru will open has not been set, and plans for a McDonald's in Clay is still in review.
Lights on the Lake is returning for its 35th season, and this year they're adding something new. The holiday tradition, which has been named one of the best holiday displays in the United States, will host an early morning 5K walk. That walk will be on Saturday, November 23rd, and then will be followed by a 5K run on Sunday so you can burn all the calories before you eat Thanksgiving dinner. Participants in both events will receive Lights on the Lake swag. The annual drive-thru light show will be open every night from 5 to 10 p.m.
Coming up on News Live at 6, President Biden speaks publicly for the first time since the election results. His message to the nation.
And it's 2 days after the election. The House of Representatives still up for grabs, though, with razor-thin margins. We'll take a look at the biggest House, Senate, and White House races next on News Live at 6.
Women are bad with money.
It's what the world's been saying for centuries. But now,
we've got something to say. Save it. Save the old-fashioned advice, the empty excuses. It's all worthless, unlike us.
To our fellow females, It is time to save ourselves by saving our money.
Contributing to our futures, investing in our independence.
Until we're no longer 80%
more likely than men to live in poverty in retirement.
So again, we say to that, save it.
The falsehoods, the feelings of fault, then the funds.
Learn how to save for your retirement at wesaysaveit.org.
You're watching Citrus TV News live at 6 with Ronnie Parrillo, Ilana Epstein, and Jackson Breslin. Now, your campus news leader continues.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. It's 2 days after Election Day, and the race for a New York State Senate in the 50th District is still too close to call. As of right now, Democratic candidate Christopher Ryan leads over Nick Perro, but there are many outstanding ballots still to be counted, including absentee and emergency ballots. The seat was previously held by John Mannion, who beat incumbent Brandon Williams for the state's 22nd congressional seat.
I've said many times, you can't love your country only when you win. You can't love your neighbor only when you agree. Something I hope we can do, no matter who you voted for, is see each other not as adversaries, but as fellow Americans.
President Biden there addressing the nation. The election results. In the speech, he committed to a peaceful transfer of power to President-elect Trump and asked Americans to stop questioning the election's integrity.
The president also spoke on his calls to both Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris, saying he congratulated both of them, Trump for his win and Harris on her, quote, inspiring campaign. While polls have been closed for nearly 48 hours, votes are still being counted around the nation to determine some key Senate and House races. Republicans are on the verge of controlling the White House, Senate, and House. Our Alex Burstein joins Ronnie to discuss what's latest from around the electoral map. Guys?
All right, Ilana, thanks so much. Well, I mean, we got the pro here, Alex Burstein. So we saw a lot happen on Tuesday night, most notably a red wave across the country. Was reading today that Republicans made gains in almost all 50 states, be it small or large. So what's the latest on that?
Yeah, I mean, it was the House, it was the Senate, and obviously the big fish, it was the White House. Kamala Harris could not win most of the states that she needed to in those swing states, and Donald Trump ends up getting the victory right now at 295, needed 270. There's a good chance, though, he gets over that 300 mark once the final two states come in. The two that are waiting right now, you have Nevada over here and Arizona. These are two states, swing states, that count their votes a little bit slower than the other. Arizona especially lagging behind right now, but both of those states leaning towards going red right now. So once those two states come in, they'll likely be Trump over 300 electoral votes. And because of that, today, President Biden said that there's going to be a peaceful transition of power and he's ready to move on to this next administration. Here's what he had to say.
I will do my duty as president. I'll fulfill my oath, and I will honor the Constitution. On January 20th, we'll have a peaceful transfer of power here in America.
Now, Alex, something else that we heard a lot about in this election, especially from the Harris campaign, was trying to mobilize the youth vote. The numbers, though, coming out of this election really don't show that as much.
Yeah, I mean, and this is what the Democrats really needed, those 18 to 29-year-old voters. And the idea was you get a younger candidate, you have a candidate who's much better on social media than really any candidate that's ever been seen in an election before. You see back in 2020, Biden with a pretty commanding lead among those 18 to 29 voters, 60 to 36. The idea was this number may even blossom in 2024. What actually happened, the complete opposite. Harris drops 5%. Trump with some major gains, only a plus 13 margin. Harris really needed this to be much more in the range of plus 25, plus 30 to get it there. That's just not what happened, and that was just the first of a number of things that did not go right for the Democrats.
Absolutely. So I want to talk now about the Senate. Obviously, some huge gains for Republicans there. We saw them flip a 17-year seat in Ohio, Sherrod Brown getting ousted, Bernie Moreno is now in. So what's that looking like for Republicans? I know that they're hopeful tonight.
Yeah, I mean, the idea heading in was it was likely going to be the Republicans taking the Senate, but it's by a pretty big margin now, 53 to 45, with a couple of seats still yet to go. Entering, it was 50-50, but the Democrats had the margin because of that vice presidential tiebreaker. Now a tiebreaker is not going to even be needed. 8 votes right now. We'll see what it is when these next 2 elections come in. The one seat that did just get called in Pennsylvania, Bob Casey loses his seat to Dave McCormick. That's another flip for Republicans. They've been doing that all around. 2 positive signs for the Democrats as they try to get this closer. The 2 outstanding races in Nevada and in Arizona both have Democratic leads right now. Jackie Rosen leading Sam Brown over in Nevada. That's a 1% lead or so, 90% in. Looks like that's going to go Democratic. The other big race in Arizona, Ruben Gallego, the House member, taking on Carrie Lake, the former governor candidate in Arizona. Only 69% of the vote in, but Gallego's starting to open up a little bit bigger of a lead. And as you know, that is usually those late ballots tend to be more Democratic, so good for him. But earlier this week, Donald Trump was very excited about the gains that the Republicans had. Here's what he had to say.
All of those victories, nobody expected that, nobody. So I just wanted to thank you very much for that. And you have some great senators and some great new senators. And it also looks like we'll be keeping control of the House of Representatives.
So, Alex, no debate that Republicans had a great night across the board. However, here in central New York, incumbent Brandon Williams, he was ousted by John Mannion, so that's +1 seat for the Democrats. New York State was really looked at. The Democrats wanted to gain back seats in this state. So how's the House looking for Republicans?
Yeah, I mean, that was a big flip for the Democrats, and they're going to need a few more of those over these next couple of days. The House obviously counts a little bit slower because you have so many races around the country. 210 to 198 right now, the race to 218. And how things looking right now, Republicans leading in 13 of them that are left to be called. They need 8 of those. So unless there's some late switches, it's gonna likely be all 3 levels for the Republicans. But as you see down here, a lot of races within 1%, 2%, 3%. So a lot can change in the next couple of days.
All right, Alex, thanks so much as always. Ilana?
Great coverage, guys. Thank you. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is optimistic about Donald Trump winning the presidential election. It comes after Zelensky's speech today when he said he had a, quote, productive conversation with Trump yesterday. Zelensky also added, quote, this is the kind of America that Europe needs, and a strong Europe is what America needs, to my mind. Trump has previously said that he wants the war between Russia and Ukraine to end and that he'll be the one to stop it.
All right, now to your wallet. The Federal Reserve is cutting interest rates for the second time since September today, Ilana. Officials lowered the federal fund rate by 1/4 point. The range is now 4.5% to 4.75%. That's down from the previous range of 4.75 to 5%.
The point cut will add some relief for customers, but experts say the impact will be small. The Fed is expected to continue cutting rates at future meetings, and eventually the cuts could help those who are struggling with debt.
Coming up on News Live at 6, I'll have your 45-day forecast and my take on when to play Christmas music. Stick with us.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
Dad?
Just 1 minute, okay?
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
from the Citrus TV Weather Center. This is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. Taking a look at your 5-day forecast, tomorrow will be a pretty nice day, 58 degrees and partly cloudy with a low of 34. And then as we head into the weekend, well, the temperatures are going to drop a little bit, 50 degrees and sunny on Saturday, 54 degrees with some evening rain on Sunday. And then that rain is going to continue into the morning of Monday, 58 degrees with a low of 44. And then on Tuesday, 49 degrees with a low of 30 with some morning clouds. Hopefully we'll see the sun later on that day. But now that Halloween is over, I know a lot of people are starting to listen to Christmas music, and I'm going to get on my soapbox here. I don't agree with it. I think it's too soon. I think you have to wait until Halloween or until Thanksgiving. But let's take a look at this. This is the Google Trends graph for All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey. That peak right there, that is November 1st. That's way too soon after Halloween. You gotta give Thanksgiving some love, guys. I'm sorry. But also, when you search up Mariah Carey, snowflakes come up. Guys, it is November. Give it a little bit of time to really get into the Christmas spirit. I'm sorry, I can't stand for it. I don't like it. You gotta give Thanksgiving some love. It's always looked over so much. You just go straight from Halloween to Christmas. Skylar, I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but I do know that you have some stuff coming up in sports.
Jackson, I totally am with you there, and November hasn't really been kind to Syracuse football, but fortunately the Orange head back out on the road to face an ACC rival. On the other hand, SU men's soccer had a heartbreaking end to its season last night. We've got news from the turf, the pitch, and the hardwood, so don't go anywhere.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzz and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
And now, your Citrus TV Sports Report.
100 years after the first meeting, Syracuse football travels to play Boston College on Saturday. Welcome to sports. I'm Skylar Wilkes. After a hot start to the season resulted in a top 25 spot, BC now finds itself on a 3-game skid. Even though the campaign was kind of gotten away from the Eagles, they still have talented players. That includes Thomas Castellanos, who's a dangerous dual-threat QB. If you don't believe me, just ask SU head coach Fran Brown.
I think that quarterback has a good arm. He could throw the ball deep, and he takes advantage of doing that. I think that people aren't paying attention to how well he can spin the ball and he can run. So, there's a lot that gets done with it, but we just got to be able to focus on that.
Well, Orange fans learned that the hard way last year. With 2 minutes left and the game tied, Castellanos ran it himself to give Boston College the lead and ultimate victory. Overall, the Georgia native amassed over 250 total yards and 2 touchdowns. Just last week alone, the junior accumulated more than 200 total yards and threw for 3 TDs. So, regardless of all the numbers, you can probably expect the SU defense to cue in on Castellanos. Now switching gears, Syracuse men's soccer fell 2-1 to Wake Forest in the first round of the ACC tournament yesterday. The Orange actually scored first in the 15th minute before the Demon Deacons tied it on a penalty kick over 50 minutes later. Then, in the 82nd minute, Wake found the back of the net to secure the win. And realistically, the Cuse is lucky that it didn't lose by more. Ian McIntyre's squad was outshot 23-7, which included 8 attempts on goal. Syracuse keeper Tomas Hutt made a career-high 6 saves to try and help keep his team in the game. Ultimately, though, it likely marks the end of a down year for the Orange. SU won just 7 games, its lowest total since 2020. And down in the Peach State, the Knicks hope to close out their road trip with a victory against the Hawks. If you're a New York fan, you know that this matchup has developed into a bit of a rivalry. Fortunately, for those that like basketball, this one had more of that intensity. Let's check out what went down in Atlanta. The Knicks came in after losing their first game against the Hawks, and then the Rockets, I should say. Zachary Risache starts things off for Atlanta. One of his 6 3-pointers made. Speaking of another #1 overall pick, Karl-Anthony Towns slashes to the basket, floats it up and in for an and one. But the Knicks still trailing for much of the second half. Jalen Johnson slams it home, one of his 23 points. Karl-Anthony Towns, that's what he was brought in to do, doing everything he can to keep his team in the game. Gives them a 110-105 lead. And the Knicks were up by 5 with under 3 minutes to play. Zachary Risache, 33 points, the most by any rookie this season. But here come the Hawks. Clint Capella slams it home, caps off a 9-1 run, and it's Atlanta who holds on to win 121-116. So while the Knicks may have suffered their second straight loss, there were definitely some highlights. New York had 6 players, including all 5 starters, finish in double digits. Forward Karl-Anthony Towns continued his impressive stretch with 34 points and 16 rebounds. Still, Tom Thibodeau's crew drops to below 500 and returns to the Big Apple after a 2-2 stint on the road. That's all I have tonight in sports. Ilana and Ronnie, back to you.
Thanks, Skylar. When we come back, we'll be trying some new Starbucks drinks and we'll have your wake-up weather. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, Hard, what's this?
That's my resignation letter.
You're resigning.
Why? Because you're constantly ignoring me. You're half as active as you used to be, and you get stuff like this. You've been putting me under a lot of pressure lately. That's why I'm ready to quit.
I forgot. I'll do better.
Please, don't quit on me. Okay, but remember, it's not what you say, it's what you do.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you.
Let's go for a walk.
Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. When you're first getting up, it's going to be a pretty sunny and warm morning. 50 degrees around 8 a.m., 55 around 10, and 57 at noon. It should be a pretty nice day, guys.
All right, Jackson. Well, it's time. The Starbucks holiday menu is back. Starting today, the peppermint mocha, caramel brulee latte, and the chestnut praline latte are all returning to the menu.
Plus, Starbucks is introducing 3 new Cranberry refreshers. I love that. Holiday pastries are also returning, along with the iced sugar cookie almond milk latte and iced gingerbread oat milk latte. Guys, I am so excited. We got to just try this really quickly.
Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah, cheers.
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 Gotta get everyone.
Coffee
Cheers.
with my
Okay.
friends. Doesn't get better than this.
Oh, this is good.
Solid.
This is good.
This is horrible.
Okay, is this one new?
Oh, he's not a fan.
No.
I think this could. I've never seen this before. I'm a Dunkin' guy because I'm
is.
from the great state of Rhode Island. And there's 5 in 1 mile in my town.
He walked into the studio today with Starbucks, and it is like, it was the craziest thing ever.
And now she has photo proof of it.
I have photo proof of it. It was the craziest thing ever, actually. I don't know, but I actually think this is pretty good. I've had it before. What do you think?
It's not bad. I'm usually a chai latte guy when I go to Starbucks.
Solid.
So that's my typical choice, but this isn't bad.
So we'll have to go again. But unfortunately, that's all the time we have for Citrus TV News Live at 6 of this evening.
Don't forget, you can follow us on X and Instagram at Citrus TV News. Now for the entire Citrus TV News team, I'm Ronnie Parrillo.
And I'm Ilana Epstein. Have a fantastic night, Syracuse.